The first race of MXGP 2016 season burst into life with MX2 Race 1, and it was the two KTMs of Paul Jonas and David Puchis that battled out for the whole shot. But in the beginning, it was the 91 of Jeremy Seewer who led the first two laps, and he was under intense pressure from the number 4 of Dylan Ferrandis. Ferrandis went through, and it wasn't long before Herlings barged his way down the inside into second to set up quite an enthralling contest between him and Ferrandis. Seewer is in third at that stage, and fourth belonged to the number 41 of Paul Jonas. As the race went on, though, Puchis had this crash out of 7th place, and then Herlings, with a few laps to go, started to get into the number 4 of Dylan Ferrandis. They battled for the lead, and both gave as good as they got. A lot of running wide. Herlings thought he'd got the lead there on lap 14, but Ferrandis bounced back and just wasn't able to find a way through, and it was Herlings who held on to take the win. Ferrandis second, Jonas third, Seewer and Tonkoff your top 5. MXGP Race 1. They charged down into turn 1, and it was Evgeny Bobryshev who pulled the foxhole shot, closely followed by the 243 Garibaldi Honda rider of Tim Gajser. 7 laps, Gajser pursued Bobryshev, and on the start of lap 8, he found his move down the inside at turn 1, nudging the Russian aside, and Gajser led for the first time in 2016. He started to pull clear of his rival as Clement Desal, riding with a broken arm, circulated just to pick up as many points as possible. But Gajser was on a mission. Max Nagel almost landed on Gauthier Paulin as they battled over 10th place. Paulin eventually coming home in 10th. Nagel eventually dropping to 12th. But Bobryshev was in a good mood as well. He circulated in second behind the new rookie in the class, 243, Tim Gajser, who went on to win comfortably. Fevre was third. MX2 Race 2. And down into turn 1, it was Dylan Ferrandis, number 4, who grabbed the foxhole shot. Herlings was right there in second. Seewer was running in 4th place, but then made a mistake at the end of lap 1, dropped down to 8th. And it would be an eventful race for the Suzuki rider from Switzerland. Herlings was soon in the lead, though, as Jeremy Seewer started charging through. First, he made this move on Benoit Paturel to go 6th. Then Paturel fell down to 13th and would eventually carve his way back to 8th. Seewer then went to work on Tonkoff, got himself into 5th place, but would eventually lose out to Brent Van Donnick, who would take 4th in the closing stages. But Jeffrey Herlings, though, was victorious. He wrapped up the weekend with a solid double moto win over Ferrandis, who went twice second, and Paul Jonas, who twice went third. And that was the overall classification here in the MX2 Grand Prix of Qatar. Herlings 2 wins out of 2. Ferrandis and Jonas on the top steps, second step and third step of the podium here this weekend at the season opener. So the championship then looks like this for the manufacturers. KTM on top, Kawasaki second, Yamaha third. But Jeffrey Herlings only losing 1 race out of 8 in the last 4 years. He's victorious again here in Qatar and leads the championship after round 1.
Jeffrey Herlings, congratulations. 4 years in a row we've been here at Qatar, and you've yet to be defeated. Is it great to have your hands on that red plate again after so long?
Definitely, but I just want to have it at the end of the season. You know, I lost it twice, like somewhere end of the season in 14 and 15, but happy to have it, and happy to win my 40th GP here in Qatar. You know, it's 4 in a row, as you mentioned, and had a really good weekend. Obviously, second moto, thought I had something with the front wheel, but we checked everything was fine, but better safe than sorry, I always say. So really thankful to be winning here and looking forward to next week in Thailand.
Congratulations, Jeffrey. Second.
Final race of the weekend then. MXGP race 2, Gajser Portland swung around the outside of Bobryshev and Gajser to take the Fox hole shot. But his race lasted just one lap. His bike expiring whilst in third position, having been passed by Gajser and Bobryshev before the lap was out. Gajser didn't make too many mistakes as he pulled clear once again as Romain Febvre got himself into third with this pass on Tony Cairoli. But a couple laps later, Febvre, the defending champion, made an uncharacteristic mistake, overjumped, ran out of room, lost the front and went down. Lost a place to Cairoli, but would eventually claim it back with about 7 laps to go and get himself back into third. He also found his way past Evgeny Bobryshev in the closing stages as well to nail down second behind Tim Gajser. But Tony Cairoli, a mixed weekend for the 8-time champ, had to settle for 4th in the second race, but 10 out of 10 though, perfect weekend for Tim Gajser, 2:43 on the Honda Garibaldi machine, wrapping up here in Qatar. Second overall, Romain Febvre with a third and a second, and Bobryshev a second and a third. Those two finishing 8 points behind Gajser. Cairoli had to settle for 5th overall this weekend, but Honda lead the way in what was a perfect weekend for HRC. So Tim Gajser then stands on the top step, having secured his first ever double moto victory in a World Championship Grand Prix. And he now takes the red plate to round 2 in Thailand in 1 week's time.
Tim Gajser, congratulations. I know you're in disbelief that you're holding that red plate in the MXGP class, but you did do a lot of preparation last year, didn't you, on the 450? So you're well prepared.
Yeah, actually, it was first full season that I can, make a good preparation, because always before I was still going in school, This year was first year that I finished the school, so it was a little bit easier, and yeah, we make a good winter. Everything went really good testing, and yeah, I think I show it today so that I'm good prepared. So really looking forward for next round in Thailand. So yeah.
Thank you, Tim.